You think your manifestation is taking too long. You wonder if you should give up. You start to question if it will ever happen for you. And yet, the only thing standing between you and what you desire is your faith. Do not let time weaken your faith. Time is not the measure of your manifestation. Faith is. So what is faith? It is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the confidence that what you want already exists in the unseen, even if your senses deny it. Faith is not a feeling that comes and goes. It is a knowing that does not waver. It is the inner certainty that says, "This is mine now," even when the world around you whispers otherwise. When you look outside and see nothing changing, it is tempting to surrender to doubt. It is easy to think that because nothing appears different, nothing is happening. But do not be fooled. Your manifestation is closer than you think, because it already exists in the only place that matters, your consciousness. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire is already complete in the unseen, and your only task is to persist in the assumption that it is done. The delay you perceive is not reality. It is simply the time it takes for the outer world to rearrange itself, to reflect the state you occupy within. But that reflection will come if you do not abandon your assumption. Faith does not demand signs. Faith does not check if it is working. Faith rests in the unseen, knowing it is finished. Because what you assume to be true within must appear without. When you give up because the senses show you nothing, you are trading the truth for an illusion. You are choosing the shadow over the substance. Do not do it. Hold fast, because the unseen is more real than what your eyes can see. Faith is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Cross that bridge, and you will find that what you sought was waiting for you all along. Do not give up now. Do not measure by what the senses report. Measure by the conviction you hold within, because the unseen is already yours, and faith will make it visible. Faith is not blind hope. It is not wishful thinking or desperate longing. Faith is the living conviction that your desire is already yours. You see, to hold faith means to dwell in the state of the fulfilled wish. It means to imagine with feeling the reality you wish to experience. To live in that state in your mind as though it were true here and now. This is the secret that many overlook. Faith requires no outward evidence because it is founded on inward experience. It is the imagining that impresses the subconscious mind, which then fashions your outer world. When doubt creeps in, it is often because the senses contradict the promise held within. You might think, "I do not see it yet, therefore it is not real." But this is the error to avoid at all costs. The senses report only what is already formed in the material world. They cannot perceive the invisible reality shaping itself in consciousness. Faith is the bridge that spans this gap. To keep faith, then, is to ignore the contradictory senses. It is to live as though your desire were already complete. In your inner world, see yourself enjoying that which you desire. Do not concern yourself with the how or when. Your task is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to persist in that feeling. Allow the subconscious to work its silent magic. Faith is not passive. It is a quiet power. It does not rush or strain, but holds steady in assurance. This steadiness stirs the subconscious into action, shaping your reality accordingly. When you become that which you want to be, your outer circumstances must conform. Remember, faith is the master key. It unlocks doors that effort alone cannot open. Faith is not simply believing in what you want. Faith is knowing that it is already yours, unseen but certain. Many stumble because they mistake faith for wishing or hoping. Wishing waits anxiously for evidence. Faith acts as if the evidence already exists. To maintain faith, you must guard your imagination carefully. Do not allow your thoughts to wander into doubt or fear. When you feel doubt, gently return your mind to the fulfilled state. The subconscious accepts the last impression you give it. If you impress it with fear or uncertainty, that will manifest as your reality. If you impress it with confidence and faith, your world must change to reflect that. Understand that your outer world is a mirror. It reflects what you consistently assume within. Therefore, it is your sacred duty to choose your assumptions wisely. Faith is the art of persistent assumption. It requires patience and quiet assurance, even when your senses say otherwise. Do not measure progress by what you see outside. Your manifestation is unfolding in the invisible realm, where time and space do not bind it. Hold firm and trust in the unseen process. Faith is the power that will carry you through the waiting. It is the unshakable belief that your desire's fulfillment is inevitable. Faith is not a passive state. It is an active, living conviction that shapes your reality. When doubt creeps in, recognize it as a sign to strengthen your inner dialogue. Speak to yourself with the assurance that your desire is accomplished. Words hold power. Your inner conversation is the soil where your manifestation grows. Many give up too soon because they look for instant proof. Remember, the seed you plant in faith takes time to blossom. Do not abandon it just because the soil has not yet turned green. Faith demands that you imagine with feeling. It is the feeling of the wish fulfilled that impresses the subconscious. Without feeling, imagination remains empty and powerless. When you imagine, embody the state fully. Feel the joy, the peace, the satisfaction as if it were present now. This feeling anchors the assumption in your being and creates your future reality. Do not seek to understand the how or when. Such questions open the door to doubt and impatience. Trust instead that the process is already complete in the unseen. Your faith is a powerful magnet. It draws circumstances, people, and events into alignment with your belief. The more faith you hold, the faster the manifestation appears. Faith is not blind. It is based on the inner knowing of your own creative power. When fear arises, recognize it as the absence of faith. Fear is the voice of doubt speaking through your mind. It seeks to pull you away from your assumption and into uncertainty. Do not engage with fear. Instead, return gently but firmly to your assumption of fulfillment. Repeat your conviction with feeling and persistence. The imagination is your faithful ally. It is the bridge between your conscious desire and the subconscious acceptance. Guard it carefully. Nourish it daily with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Many fail because they allow the outer senses to overpower the inner vision. What you see, hear, or feel in the physical world is not the true reality. Your inner state alone determines what is to come. Faith insists that you persist without visible evidence. It is a trust that what you assume now is already done. This trust makes all things possible. Practice faith as an unwavering allegiance to your inner conviction. It is a commitment to your imagined state, regardless of outward conditions. Faith is the silent force that brings dreams to life. Faith is not a static thing. It grows, it evolves, and it deepens the more you practice it. Every moment you hold your assumption steady, you strengthen the invisible bridge between your desire and its fulfillment. Faith is the quiet, unshakable knowing that what you have imagined is already real. It is not dependent on visible evidence or external circumstances. It thrives in the absence of proof and flourishes in the face of doubt. Many lose faith because they mistake the delay for denial. They look at their current reality and believe it contradicts their desires. But what you see around you is only a reflection of past assumptions, not the promise of your present state. Your task is to ignore the conditions around you, to keep your mind fixed on the end result, regardless of what your senses report. This requires persistence, patience, and a steadfast heart. Think of faith as an act of will, the choice to believe in the unseen rather than be swayed by the seen. It means deciding daily to embrace the reality you desire, as if it already exists. When fear or doubt try to creep in, acknowledge them, but do not give them power. Return your attention gently yet firmly to your assumption. This is the practice that turns imagination into experience. Faith is not blind optimism. It is the confident use of your imagination to rewrite your story. It demands courage, not complacency, and requires you to act as the creator of your reality. Your faith shapes the subconscious mind, which in turn shapes your outer world. Cultivate faith with care, for it is the seed from which your manifestation will grow. Nurture it with focus, feeling, and unwavering belief. Faith and feeling are inseparable. The emotional conviction you hold about your desire is the language your subconscious understands. When your feelings align with your faith, manifestation becomes inevitable. In the end, faith is your most powerful ally in creation. Do not allow temporary appearances to shake your conviction. Stand firm in your assumption. Hold your vision with clarity, and watch as your desire unfolds effortlessly. Faith is a practice of surrender, not of struggle. It asks you to let go of resistance and trust the invisible workings behind the scenes. When you cease the battle against what appears, you open space for the new to enter. You must learn to rest in the assumption of your fulfilled desire, not in the anxiety of waiting for it. This rest is not passivity, but a powerful state of inner alignment. Many fail because they confuse faith with impatience. They want proof, signs, or evidence before they fully commit. Yet faith requires acting as if the desire is already fulfilled, regardless of the outer world. The gap between desire and fulfillment is bridged by your feeling and belief. When you feel the reality of your wish within, the universe must respond. This is the law. Your inner conviction changes the outer conditions. When doubt arises, do not fight it harshly. Recognize it as a sign to deepen your faith. Return gently but firmly to your imagined scene, to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, faith is not a one-time act, but a continuous state. It requires daily, even moment-to-moment renewal. Faith grows stronger each time you refuse to surrender to your present circumstances. Faith is the art of living in the end, of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled until it becomes your reality. Persist in this, and your desire will manifest in perfect timing. Faith is the quiet certainty that what you desire already exists. It does not argue. It does not question. It knows. And that knowing is your greatest power. When you refuse to waver, you align yourself with the law that governs all creation. This world moves in response to your assumption, not in response to fear, not in response to doubt, but in response to the state you occupy. So hold the state of the wish fulfilled. Live in it as though it were already true. Let it saturate your mind. Let it shape every word you speak, every thought you think, every feeling you allow. Your manifestation is closer than you think. It is not coming from the outside. It is unfolding from within you. Every moment you persist in faith, the unseen becomes seen. The invisible becomes visible. And the world reshapes itself to match your assumption. Faith is not waiting for proof. Faith is being the proof. It is walking as the one who already has. It is moving through life knowing the end is certain, because you have already claimed it within. So let this be the truth you carry forward. What you desire is not distant. It is here. It is now. And when you stand firm in that knowing, nothing and no one can take it from you.